boys and girls. I hope that you are all doing well and that you are missing us. And unfortunately, we can't see each other, so we will start with our online learning this week. At the beginning of each term, we always need to start with a term page. Use the first blank A4 page in your book. Decorate it in such a way that it is clear that the work for term 2 will follow. Here are some examples, but you can also use your own creativity. When you are done with your term page, we will be looking at the first theme for term 2, and it is who makes the rules. In lesson 1, we will be looking at a story called Trouble in the Supermarket. In term 1, we discussed 2 things that you always need to remember before you start to read any passage. Remember to look at the pictures and title before you can begin to read. You will find this passage on page 68 and 69 of your textbook, so please follow with me. When you start writing the work in your book, make sure that you start with the date that you will be doing this activity. Your heading is Read and View a Story. Skip a line, write down Activity 3, page 69 and 70. Number your answers correctly, 3A, B, C, D, and E. Just make sure here that we start with number 3 and it does not start with number 1. 3A. Look at the pictures labeled A, B, C, and D on page 70. Arrange them in the right order so they match the order of events in the story. For example, if you think that picture B should be first, write B next to 1. Complete the sentence correctly. This story takes place in a what? At 3C, fill in the blank spaces concerning the characters in the story. 3D, write down 3 questions that you can ask a partner to check that he or she understands the story. Practice using the question words who, what, when, why, which, and how. After you've done the questions of the story, we will be looking at plurals. So to refresh your memory, you are going to redraw the table in your book and fill in the plurals by finding the words in a dictionary or on Google. So here follows lesson 2 now, which is about plurals.
A noun can refer to one or more than one person, animal, place, or thing. A noun that names one person, animal, place, or thing is called a singular noun. For example, boy, cat, house, flower. A noun that names more than one person, animal, place, or thing is called a plural noun. For example, boys, cats, houses, flowers. Add es to nouns that end in ch, sh, o, s, ss, x, and z to get their plural forms. For example, ostrich, ostriches, dish, dishes, fox, foxes, princess, princesses, mango, mangoes, quiz, quizzes. Sometimes some words ending in O take only S in its plural form. For example, piano, pianos. The nouns that end in a consonant followed by Y change into plural form by changing the Y to I and then adding ES. For example, city, cities, country, countries. Even though monkey ends with a Y, it does not get the plural form ES. Rather, you just add an S. The nouns that end in a vowel followed by Y change into plural form simply by addition of S. For example, key, keys. To form the plural of a noun that ends in F or FE, we replace the F or FE with VES. For example, leave, leaves. There are, however, a few words that do not follow the rule. For example, chef, chefs. Some nouns have the same form in singular and plural. For example, sheep, hare, deer, bison. A few singular nouns form their plural by changing the inside vowel or vowels. For example, man, men, tooth, teeth.
Here are plural rules that you can use to help you with the exercise that follows. You will now write down the date that you will be doing this activity as well as your heading, which is plurals. You will see on your left hand side there are 4 tables A, B, C, D and E. Make sure that you copy this table. And on your right hand side there are examples to help you complete this activity. After you've completed this activity, you will receive a word puzzle that you can download and complete. In this lesson, lesson number 3, we will be looking at the theme, the biggest rule breaker. Write down the date that you will be doing this activity. Your heading will be write and present a story. Skip a line, write down activity 6, page 72. Plan a story called The Biggest Rule Breaker in Our Home. So here you will decide who is the biggest rule breaker in your home. Identify this person, then use 4 paragraphs for your draft and final. Remember to use the 3 steps that we've done in term 1 already. Number 1 is your plan, number 2 the draft, and number 3 the revise, edit and present. You will start with the plan at number 1. First you must decide who is the biggest rule breaker in your home, and then compare all the people in the house by the second block. Your third block, what has he or she done? So what has this person done to be identified as the biggest rule breaker. And then number 4, any extra information that you want to add in your story. At number 2, you will be doing the draft. Write a first draft of your story and read it through carefully. At number 3, you need to write down, revise, edit, and present. Check your work. If there are any spelling mistakes in your first draft, rewrite it neatly and correctly. Lesson number 4, you will be doing a listening activity of Trouble in the Supermarket. I'm now going to read the review, so make sure that you take notes while I am reading. One of your classmates wrote a review about the story in this unit called Trouble in the Supermarket. You see the review in the school newspaper. So the title of the story is Review of Trouble in the Supermarket. The author, Lynn Taitz. Illustrator, Piet Blom. The type, this is not a love story or the kind of story you should read late at night. It is a crime story. It is suitable for grade 5 learners. Characters. The main characters in the story are Mr. Ramasha and his brave granddaughter Asia. The plot. The story tells readers what happened when Asia and her grandfather went on an ordinary trip to the supermarket. They did not have a peaceful outing. Instead, they came face to face with a thief. Comments. This is not my favorite kind of story. I like to read about brave people and I like the happy ending, but it did make me feel a bit scared. Just make sure here it is a review. So a review is when a person writes his or her feelings about a specific topic or story. The questions. Number 2. Work with a partner to find the following information in the review. A. What is the title of the story? B. Who are the main characters in the story? C. Give one word for a short plan of what happened. D. What did the writer of the review think about the story? Number 3. Take turns reading Trouble in the Supermarket aloud to each other. Number 4. Now that you have read the story again, do you agree with the review of the story? Explain your answer. Number 5. Challenge. Why do you think people write reviews of stories, books, films, or TV programs? Write down the date that you will be doing this activity, and then your heading will be listening activity. Skip a line, write down activity 8, page 73 and 74. Number your questions as follow: 2A, B, C, and D, 4 and 5. You won't be doing number 3 as this only involves reading. Boys and girls, that concludes our first week of the online learning. I hope that you find this meaningful, and I hope that you are missing us just as much as we are missing you. Take care and be safe, and we will see you soon.